a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Alex Trebek. George Alexander Trebek is a Canadian-American television personality. He has been the host of the syndicated game show Jeopardy since it was revived in 1984, and has also hosted a number of other game shows, including The Wizard of Oz, Double Dare, High Rollers, Battlestars, Classic Concentration, and To Tell the Truth. Trebek is contracted to host Jeopardy until 2022. On March 6, 2019, he announced that he had been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Trebek has made appearances in numerous television series, usually portraying himself. A native of Canada, he became a naturalized United States citizen in 1998. Early life. Trebek was born in Sudbury, Ontario, Canada on July 22, 1940, the son of George Edward Trebek, a chef who had emigrated from Ukraine as a child, and Lucille Lagacé, a Franco-Ontarian. He grew up in a bilingual French-English household. Trebek graduated from the University of Ottawa with a degree in philosophy in 1961. While a university student, he was a member of the English Debating Society. At the time, he was interested in a career in broadcast news, and before completing his degree, Trebek began his career in 1961 working for the CBC. According to Trebek, "I went to school in the mornings and worked at nights. I did everything, at one time replacing every announcer in every possible job." He would eventually read the national news and cover a wide range of special events for the CBC's radio and television divisions, including curling and horse racing. Television career. Trebek's first hosting job was on a Canadian music program called Music Hop in 1963. In 1966 he hosted a high school quiz show called Reach for the Top. From 1967 to 1970 he was a host for the CBC, introducing classical music programs including performances by Glenn Gould. For 1 or 2 seasons he hosted a weekly skating program. Starting in spring 1969, Trebek also hosted Strategy, which aired on weekdays. In 1973, he moved to the United States and worked for NBC as host of a new game show, The Wizard of Oz. A year later Trebek hosted the popular Merrill Heater Bob Quigley game show, High Rollers, which had 2 incarnations on NBC, and an accompanying syndicated season. In between stints as host of High Rollers, Trebek hosted the short-lived CBS game show Double Dare. Double Dare turned out to be his only game show with the CBS network, and the first show he hosted for what was then Mark Goodson Bill Todman Productions, as well as the second season of the syndicated series The $128,000 Question, which was recorded in Toronto. Since the second incarnation of High Rollers premiered while the $128,000 Question was still airing and taping episodes, Trebek became one of 2 hosts to MC shows in both the United States and Canada, joining Jim Perry, who was hosting Definition and Headline Hunters in Canada, and Card Sharks, which, coincidentally, premiered the same day as High Rollers in 1978 in the United States. Trebek's francophone side was put on display in 1978 in a special bilingual edition of Reach for the Top and its Radio-Canada equivalent, Jenny and Ebb. In this show Trebek alternated smoothly between French and English throughout. Like other hosts of the day, Trebek made several guest appearances as a panelist or player on other shows. One of his guest appearances was on a special week of NBC's Card Sharks in 1980. He and several other game show hosts competed in a week-long round-robin tournament for charity. Trebek won the tournament, defeating Cullen in the finals. Trebek also appeared as a celebrity teammate on the NBC game show The Magnificent Marble Machine in 1975, and the Tom Kennedy-hosted NBC word game To Say the Least in 1978. Both of those shows were produced by Merrill Heater Bob Quigley Productions, which also produced High Rollers, the show Trebek was hosting during both of those guest appearances. Trebek also was a contestant on Celebrity Bowling in 1976, teamed with Jim McCrell. The duo won their match against Dick Gautier and Scatman Crothers. After High Rollers was cancelled in 1980, Trebek moved on to Battlestars for NBC. The series debuted in October 1981, and was cancelled in April 1982 after only 6 months on the air. In September 1981, Trebek took the helm of the syndicated Pitfall, which taped in Vancouver and forced him to commute, as he had done while hosting High Rollers and the $128,000 question in 1978. Pitfall was cancelled after its production company, Catalina Productions, went bankrupt. As a result, he was never paid for that series. After both series ended, Trebek hosted a revival of Battlestars called The New Battlestars that ended after 13 weeks, then shot a series of pilots for other series for producers Merrill Heater, for whom he had worked hosting High Rollers and Battlestars, and Merv Griffin. The Heater pilots were Malcolm, an NBC-ordered pilot featuring Trebek with an animated character as his co-host, and Lucky Numbers, an attempt at a revival of High Rollers that failed to sell. For Griffin, he shot 2 pilots for a revival of Jeopardy. This revival sold. He began hosting the revival in 1984 and has hosted ever since. In 1987, while still hosting Jeopardy, Trebek returned to daytime television as host of NBC's classic Concentration, his second show for Mark Goodson. He hosted both shows simultaneously until September 20, 1991, when Classic Concentration aired its final first-run episode. In 1991, Trebek made broadcast history by becoming the first person to host 3 American game shows at the same time, earning this distinction on February 4, 1991, when he took over for Lynn Swann as host of NBC's To Tell the Truth. Also for Goodson Todman, which he hosted until the end of the series' run on May 31, 1991. In 1994, Trebek returned to the CBS network for the first time since hosting Double Dare to host the Pillsbury Bake Off, which he hosted until 1998. In August 1995, in a return to his broadcast news roots, Trebek filled in for Charles Gibson for a week on Good Morning America. Trebek and Pat Sajak, host of Wheel of Fortune, traded places on April Fool's Day 1997. Pat Sajak hosted Jeopardy, and Alex Trebek hosted Wheel of Fortune with Sajak's wife, Leslie, as Trebek's co-host. Sajak and Wheel of Fortune co-host Vanna White played contestants at the wheel, with winnings going toward charities. Trebek appeared on Celebrity Poker Showdown in 2005. He came in second place in his qualifying game, losing to Cheryl Hines. On May 9, 2008, Trebek was a guest on Jimmy Kimmel Live. On the program, he discussed his 24-year career as the host of Jeopardy! Revisiting Kimmel in 2011, he talked about the IBM challenge on Jeopardy! Trebek also appears in many commercials for Colonial Penn Life Insurance, of which he is a compensated endorser, and he reprised his role as host of To Tell the Truth in a 2010 advertisement for DirecTV. In December 2010, Trebek guest-starred on How I Met Your Mother. On March 26, 2014, Alex Trebek made a guest appearance on Hot in Cleveland as himself. On June 13, 2014, Guinness World Records presented Alex with the world record for most episodes of a game show hosted, with 6,829 episodes at the time. On the December 18, 2014 series finale episode of The Colbert Report, Trebek greets Colbert as he boards a sleigh driven by Santa Claus and Abraham Lincoln and leaves the studio for the last time. On June 24, 2018, Trebek returned as a panelist on the ABC revival of To Tell the Truth. On October 1, 2018, Trebek moderated the only debate in the Pennsylvania governor's race. According to news outlets, he wanted to change the flow of the debate to be more conversational instead of the more traditional format. He dominated the debate and talked for 41% of it, often talking about himself without giving candidates time to discuss important political issues. He also made surprising and unprovoked remarks regarding the sexual abuse scandals in the Catholic Church. Trebek later apologized for his performance, stating that he was naive and misunderstood the role of a moderator. "I offer my sincere apologies to the people of Pennsylvania, a state I dearly love," he said. Personal life. Trebek married businesswoman Elaine Calliai in 1974. The couple had no children and divorced in 1981. In 1990, he married Jean Caravan, a real estate project manager from New York. They have 2 children, Matthew and Emily. In 1996, Trebek ran the Olympic torch in Jacksonville, Florida, through a leg of its journey to Atlanta. Trebek became a naturalized citizen of the United States in 1998. In late 2001 during Jeopardy's 18th season, Trebek shaved the mustache that he had worn for over 30 years. He wore a fake mustache for the first half of the April 1, 2008 episode as an April Fool's joke. In summer 2014, Trebek regrew the mustache for the 31st season of Jeopardy, only to shave it off again a month into the season. Trebek grew out a full beard at the beginning of the 2018 season, shaving it down to a goatee for the second episode, and a mustache by the second week. Trebek owned and managed a 700-acre ranch near Paso Robles in Creston, California, known as Creston Farms, where he bred and trained thoroughbred race horses. Trebek's colt, Rebus Gold, is the stakes-winning son of Slewer Gold. Trebek sold the operation in 2008 and the property is now an event center called Windfall Farms. In 2018, in an interview with Vulture, Trebek stated that he was a political moderate and registered independent, neither conservative nor liberal, with some libertarian leanings. Health. On December 11, 2007, Trebek suffered a minor heart attack in his home, but returned to work as scheduled in January. He injured an Achilles tendon, requiring 6 weeks in a cast, while chasing a burglar who had entered his San Francisco hotel room on July 27, 2011. He suffered a mild heart attack on June 23, 2012, but returned to work in July. On January 4, 2018, the verified Twitter account of Jeopardy announced that Trebek had suffered a fall, and over the winter break of Jeopardy taping, underwent surgery for a subdural hematoma. On December 15, 2017, Trebek was admitted to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center after reportedly experiencing complications from his fall in October and underwent surgery to remove blood clots from his brain the following day. Trebek required a short medical leave and returned to regular hosting duty in mid-January 2018. In 2018, while being interviewed by Harvey Levin on Fox News, Trebek floated the idea of retirement, saying the odds of him leaving Jeopardy in 2020 were 50-50, and a little less. He added that he might continue if he is not making too many mistakes, but would make an intelligent decision as to when he should give up the MC role. In October that year, he signed a new contract to continue as host through 2022, stating in January 2019 that although he was beginning to slow down due to his age, the show's work schedule, consisting of 46 taping sessions each year, was still manageable. On March 6, 2019, Trebek announced that he had been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. In a prepared video announcement of the diagnosis, Trebek noted that his prognosis was poor, but that he would aggressively fight the cancer in hopes of beating the odds, and would continue hosting Jeopardy for as long as he was able, joking that his contract obligated him to do so for 3 more years. Philanthropy and activism. Trebek hosts the annual The Great Canadian Geography Challenge in Canada and previously hosted the National Geographic Bee in the United States. He hosted the National Geographic Bee until 2013, active with World Vision Canada, a charitable organization. He has traveled to many third world countries with World Vision projects, taping reports on the group's efforts on behalf of children around the world. Trebek and the entire Jeopardy crew became involved with the United Service Organizations in 1995 and have appeared on several military bases throughout the world, both in an attempt to find contestants and as a morale booster for the troops. In 1998, Trebek donated 74 acres of open land in the Hollywood Hills to the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy, the American Foundation for the Blind. In 2001, awarded Trebek one of the year's 6 Access Awards for his role in accommodating notable Jeopardy champion Eddie Timanus. In 2016, Trebek donated $5 million to the University of Ottawa to fund the Alex Trebek Forum for Dialogue, the objective of which is to expose students to a wide range of diverse views, through speeches, public panels, events, and lectures by University of Ottawa researchers, senior government officials and guest speakers from around the world. Trebek's gifts to the university, which at the time totaled $7.5 million, also fund a Distinguished Speaker Series, which has included a presentation by Nobel laureate Leigh Margaboui, introduced by Trebek. In 2017, Trebek funded the Alex Trebek Leadership Award at the University of Ottawa, an annual $10,000 award to a summa cum laude graduate who has also demonstrated community leadership. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?